Hey guys, ACAP24 coming back with another defensive scheme. Today we're going to be looking at something out of the 3-3-5 SAM, which is really unique because it's only found in one playbook that has this alignment, and that's the 4-6 playbook. There is a nickel 3-3-5 SAM that's found in the Falcons playbook. However, it's not exactly the same exact setup because the linebackers play differently. In the Falcons one, it plays as a defensive end where the guy is on the line of scrimmage with his hand in the dirt, and you can't go ahead and shift the linebackers with him. But in this one, as the alignment suggests, it's a 3-3-5. The player does play like a linebacker, where if you shift the linebackers, he shifts with them. And that does create a nice ability to kind of change your defense up a little bit. So let's get into the splits a little bit. It's a scheme, and this scheme is actually something that was given to us by another player in the community called Prime My Time. He's a top salary cap player all year long. He's been in the top 10. He's got a really great talent for being somebody that does a lot of creation and is unique in the way he draws up stuff both from the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And here at Smart Madden, we definitely want to make sure that we surround ourselves with the best players and the best minds in the game to help you guys as we give you tips for our VIP package. Now, Prime has been somebody that we have definitely befriended over the last month. He's going to be somebody we're excited to see what we can do collectively to help out in the VIP package for Madden 18 to come, both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, as we grow our relationship in a lab partner situation, and you should be able to see a lot more of him. So this is kind of a little bit of a taste of what he can bring to the table for us, as far as, you know, somebody that we want to make sure that we try to keep a little bit close to us in the community as we grow our website. So let's go into this blitz and kind of show you why it's unique, why it works, and how it all breaks down. And this is kind of a scheme that he puts together. It's got a universal setup on the front, and then it's got some different ways that as people start to try to adapt, he kind of brings in some other things. So we're going to go ahead and start with the cover 2 sync. And if you look through this nickel 3-3-5 SAM, I'm just going to kind of scroll through it. It looks very similar to a nickel normal or a nickel 2-4-5 or nickel 2-4-5 even, all things that we've gone over in the past. But the only difference is you don't see a nickel blitz 2. You see all these here, very similar, and you also don't see a corner blitz. Okay, those are the two things that you don't see in this nickel, which, don't get me wrong, even though we don't see it, you're going to be able to create that blitz at its best when it comes to this this scheme. So let's go ahead and start off with cover 2 sync. This is pretty much his base favorite play, and we're going to go ahead and pick a play here like 518 hook that's got a blocking running back to the left hand side. Okay, so what we're going to do here, it's actually very similar to what we've already taught you when it comes to the nickel normal and the nickel 2-4-5 even, that it gives you the ability at least to kind of already have that muscle memory when it comes down to your buttons. And you're going to start off very similar, where the baseline press, you're going to pinch your D-line and crash them up. That is something that you guys have already learned from, you know, the nickel normal. Now, what we like to do with the nickel normal is go ahead and shift our linebackers to the right for dual edge heat. Well, this time we're going to go ahead and shift our linebackers to the left. Okay, and what that does is gets them in a really nice position to be able to go ahead and get the blitz in. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to globally blitz the two players on the left-hand side. So the linebacker, we're going to press the right bumper twice, then the X, and then down on the right stick. And then for the nickelback, we're going to press the Y 2 times, and then pick a third time to get him, and then R right on the R stick. So it's really, really quick. Okay, so if you can see here, we're creating that nickel blitz 2 look on the left-hand side. Now, this blitz only really needs to have 4 people. That's going to be this player, this player, this player, and this player to go ahead in order to make this work. So what we're going to do on the right-hand side is we're going to start this guy, and we'll put him on a hook zone. And then this is when we're doing a nickel when we're doing a cover 2 look, because we want to make sure that the guy goes in that hook. And then here we can go ahead and make sure that we put this guy in a quarterback spy, something that kind of he goes to the middle of the field, so any of those quick drags or anything like that, he's going to be that first player in that passing alley to make sure that they can't really throw a quick pass at you, right? And then we're going to take this player here, and we're going to cover the left side of the field, specifically in that seam. In this example, it's not a great example because there's really not a huge threat in the left side, maybe on a slant by the X receiver, but by all means, we're going to go ahead and make sure that that's our responsibility, is the middle to left-hand side. So now that I kind of explained what we're going to do with what the coverage is, let's go ahead and run this blitz here and show you how it works. And you're going to see that this guy is going to come around the edge and go ahead and kill it. Now, this is even with a blocker on the left-hand side. It doesn't really matter too much what they do. This blitz gets in, when I say over 95%, that's what I've noticed in the last 2 days that I've running it. It's a really nice blitz. They're going to have to really pay attention to putting extra players to block. They can block a tight end and a running back, the tight end on the same side. It'll pick it up, but for the most part, if people aren't going to allot 7 players to block it, only sending out 3 players, and you got a huge advantage if that's the case. This is a blitz that really comes in very similar to nickel blitz 2, if not just as well or better, to be honest with you. I haven't had months of using it, but what I've seen in gameplay, people just struggle to block this thing. So let me go ahead and go run it down again for it. So all you're going to do is baseline, press, pinch your line, crash them up, put your linebackers to the right, go ahead and global blitz them, go blitz that guy, put this guy on a curl, and then this guy on a quarterback spy, and then you're ready to go. Okay. Now you can definitely go ahead and put this guy right here if you want. It'll kind of give them a little bit of a different look. You can kind of see if it does it there. This guy's still coming around and coming that edge real easily. That's with the player on that side. Now I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find a different play. Let's see, Pat's vert hooks. All right, so this is going to be a different one. This is where I'm going to go ahead, instead of it being a stock block, I'm going to block him, with my just the hot route to a block, right? So we'll do it again here. Baseline, press, pinch, crash, move your linebackers over, globally blitz that guy, put this guy on the hook. All right, we're all set, right? So that's where we're going. We'll go ahead, we'll move this guy right here just for the sake of it. And you can see again, this guy's coming flying in. And you can see why. It's because that player on the left-hand side is going to block up the field to make it work. Now, this is just a great global blitz. I'm going to go ahead and show you now. Same thing like we did before. We'll go ahead and show Buck Slant Show 2, where we're going to use the same exact setup. Now we're going to have a cover 3 base behind it. So for the Buck Slant Show 2, it's going to be exactly the same setup as we did for the cover 2 sink blitz, where we're going to base the line, press, pinch your D-line, crash them up, move your linebackers to the left-hand side, and then pass commit. And what you're going to see here is the players on the left-hand side are already in those blitzes, so you don't have to re-blitz them. You're already good to go. Now, typically, I'm going to leave this guy here. I know you can go ahead and quarterback spy him, but for the most part, I like him to be, in that blitz. I feel like comes a little bit more consistent over the last couple days that I've been using this. But kind of play that around with that. You can have that option. Now, if you see here, we got the Y on a route. We're going to block him and show you with the just block how it's going to work here. You're going to see that this guy's going to come flying through and have a great success there. Now, if they go ahead and slide protect to the left and block, so let me go ahead and show it up here and make sure that I got everything the way it's supposed to. I move those guys that way. All right. So, and now you pass commit. If they go ahead and block and slide, if you put your player right here, you're going to be able to get it in. So I'm going to leave it here and just show you that what it does when you don't do it. You'll get that nano detection sometimes, and it doesn't come in as clean, right? It's not coming from the outside. But if you go ahead and, and that's not the end of the world if that happens. If they go ahead and they shift and they got their players there, and we're doing this, right? Now I'm going to put my player right here. All right, I'm going to hold the left trigger. You're going to see we're going to get the same exact thing we had before. This guy's coming flying in. So if you're trying to make sure that it comes in all the time, put that guy in that one gap. If you see that, we can say we got the Tampa. Oh, I got that wrong here. The Tampa 2 here, and we'll just do that blitz here. You can still do the same thing, and we're going to move this guy over. Let's go ahead. And before, we got this. Got these guys here, and putting this guy in that, and putting this guy here and holding it, right? So same difference, and you can see that this guy's still going to come in And even though he's blocking, you're going to be able to get it. So putting that guy in that B gap all the time can definitely help your blitzes. It's not necessarily all the time that you need to do it, but if they're doing slide protection and they're blocking, you definitely want to put that player in that gap in order to make it work. So that is the phase 1 and 2 of basically this blitz scheme, is really knowing how to use this blitz and make it work. Now, before I go further with it, there was one scenario in which I felt that was a little bit tougher to get the blitz in, and what that would have been is when we went ahead, and I'll pick the, just for purposes, we'll go back to the Buck Slant Show 2, right? A blitz like, an offense that will go to bunch weak, and say the PA post, where it's a play action pass where the player's on the left hand side, right? So what we're going to do here is do the same setup. All right. So we're all set up once I get this guy over there. And what we would see here is even if I put this guy in this spot, it wasn't consistent where I was able to get this blitz in, right? That time I was able to get that pressure in up the gut, but for the most part, if I do this over and over again, it's not going to be as consistent on just this type of setting where they're doing this really close inside blitz where the quarterback stays in type deal. So let me see if I got everything here. Yep. And I'll put this guy right here, and I'll hold this here. And you can see, again, they can pick this up, right? So I want to make sure that you see that on this situation, that you may want to change up your blitz a bit. And what I was able to find here is when we do this, by putting this player right here on a bluff blitz, right here. It's your 3 wide receiver hook. And using this player right here, kind of, this will be the player that you'll user. By doing that, that's going to force the player to come, the running back to look at him first and allowing the player to come in. So watch how this goes. And now we got this guy coming in easily. So it's just a tiny change in the way you're doing it to make sure that you understand how to get that player in. So that's the only thing that I really saw that slowed this blitz down, was this play or a similar play with play action. And the way the workaround around it would be to go ahead and bluff blitz that player. So you go ahead and move this guy's over. And then once this guy here, we'll go ahead and bluff blitz that player. User this player here. And then make sure you pass commit. So if you don't pass commit, it's not coming in because it's going to get the guy will get fooled. But if you pass commit, you can see that this guy's coming flying in, and you've got a really nice play action blitz as well by bluff blitzing that middle player. So this is a great combination to do it and make it work. Now let's go to the second part of this scheme. So the second part of the scheme, guys, is this bleacher blitz that he brings to the table. And let me go ahead and show you this blitz, and I really like it. And he runs it out of the cover 2 sync. And I'm just going to pick a play here. And we're going to do the exact same setup we did before. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take the baseline, press, pinch, crash up, and move your linebackers to the left to give the same exact look. Okay. So what he does from here is he goes ahead and he takes this player and puts them on basically, we want to put him on a cloud flat. So we're going to put him on a flat zone. We're going to blitz this player. And then what we're going to do here is go ahead and pick and do quarterback contain. And then we're going to do over the top coverage in order to make sure that the guy's in a cloud flat. Okay, so that's basically the setup. Now, one more additional thing that he does, which is really nice, is go ahead and spotlight the outside receiver. So in this situation, I want to make sure you know how to get to the spotlight. You're going to press the Y button, then the A button, then you're always going to press the B button as long as the alignment is very similar to where the B button is usually always the outside right player, and then you're going to go ahead and press A. So Y, again, Y, A, B, A. Okay, what that does is it spotlights that outside receiver to make sure that that cloud flat sprints out there in order to make sure that we're not held a little bit, at a disadvantage, because we want that guy to be in that passing lane. So what you're going to see here is when we hike this ball, this guy's going to do a bleacher blitz from the outside, and he's going to be able to attack this player. So let me run this over one more time because I think I missed one step for you. We're going to baseline, press, pinch, crash up, move linebackers to the left, put this guy in a hard flat, put this guy on a blitz, go ahead and quarterback contain and pass commit, and then go ahead and put an over top coverage. Now you've got one free player, and that's going to be this player right here. He's not needed. I like to put him on a flat zone just make sure that if this guy comes ahead and sees that this guy's coming, if he's got any type of drags or he's got any type of table route by the running back, you have the ability to cover that hard flat zone as well. So here it is. You're going to see that this guy's going to come flying in. Nobody's going to be able to get to him, and you've got literally everybody in coverage behind it. Let's go ahead and show it to you. And that's why this is a really nice complement, because when you set it up like this and everybody's on the left-hand side, it's natural for people to go ahead and say, I'm going to roll right? And the reason why they do that is because you have that ability that you're basically sending left all game. Now you come back with this. He likes to run it on the right hash mark because it's less real estate to cover from your cloud flat player. If you run this on the left side, you've got a long way to go with that cloud flat player, and you're a little bit more susceptible to an outside throw. But if you run this on the right hash only, you're going to be able to get that cloud flat in a passing lane a lot quicker and cover a lot more ground that way, especially when you sprinkle this in as a blitz. You can see here, all we're doing is sending 3 players. We got 8 in coverage right now, and look how everybody is just literally blanketed. And this is without using any type of user ability to cover, the missing spots per se. And this guy is just going to get, kind of a headache, because if they have to worry about all out coverage as well as a quick nickel blitz 2 type blitz, that's why the scheme is really, really nice. So I just want to make sure that you guys saw that and make it work. Typically what I would do if I was in a situation, I would block this player on the left, I would move this guy over and block this guy on the left like this, and say, you know what, that blitz that he's been killing me on the left-hand side, I'm not going to allow that to happen, right? So, if I'm doing it like this, and I've got everybody over here, now you're basically only sending 3. And then you go ahead and you put this guy in, this type of coverage here, and then you put this guy over here in a hard flat. Now you're looking at, okay, I've got literally, I'm protecting myself on the left, I'm going to roll right with my quarterback. That's my thought, right? So I'm going to hike the ball, I'm going to roll right to the quarterback, and now I'm running right into this guy, and literally, you're done. And that's one of those deals where if you have a nice scheme to really force people to do what you want to do, that's really why this works. So the last part of the scheme is the silver shoot pinch blitz. I'm going to go ahead and show you how he runs it and how we can definitely make this work. So what we're going to do here with the silver shoot pinch is go ahead and base the line, press, pinch, crash your line up like we've been doing, show your linebackers to the left-hand side, and globally blitz that X linebacker. Okay, so we got this all set up right now. From here, we're going to go ahead and take this A linebacker, put him on a flat zone to start off with, and move this guy over here above the left guard. It's got to be right above the left guard. Put him on a hook zone, and then go do the over-the-top coverage so you're on cloud flats. Okay, so if you look at this, you've got outside players and slots all manned up, and then you've got the cloud flats over there to help out. Now, the player that I'm going to use is the player that's over the 62, and I'm going to hold the left trigger right there. It's got to be over the left guard, and what you're going to see here is you hold that down, you're going to be able to get that guy around the edge, and then you're going to cover to the left-hand side, because that you're really looking for any type of in-breaking routes or any out breaking routes, but because of the fact that you're getting the pressure from the left-hand side, very rarely are they going to be able to stay in the pocket and throw any type of corner routes right away. So right now, if you see, I'm going underneath, and I'm going to cover this underneath as he gets there. You know what I'm saying? So I hold it just for a second, see that the blitz is coming in. Right now I know that the blitz is coming in. I'm able to shoot out to the left-hand side and cover that way in order to before the guy gets over, as you can see. The biggest thing that you're going to worry about is anything that's going to break in, but you're in the passing lane right now. The player does not know, are you going to cover the in or the out? You're going that way, it's going to go ahead and he's got to make that decision right now. Look, he's already got there. Which one are you throwing to? If I'm this player, I'm assuming that he's going to be covering the in, not the out, because of the way it looks. And then I'm actually going out that way. See what I'm saying? So this is a really nice man blitz to go ahead with it as well to really make it work. Now, to go on top of this, we've taught you a different way of the cover one blitz. You got that same type look here that you can do, where if you really just want to get all out coverage, do the cover one contain, or you're going to be able to go ahead and we'll just get this going here real quick for you. And same difference. we'll go ahead and pick a play that's just smash, right? So where you're going to go ahead and just without doing anything, you can do the same exact thing we were doing before, where you can base the line, press, move these guys over, and just make sure we get everybody where they're supposed to be. Come on, guys. Right? So you can share the same look. If I can get this guy to move over here. Make sure I get this here. It's the same look where you've got the ability to go ahead and you've got everybody manned up, and you're going to user this player and you're going to roam the middle of the field. Now, you got the same difference. Now, the biggest thing that you've seen, if you're going to do the all-out coverage for this, you don't want to press, only because of the fact that you want to make sure that your guys have enough space that they don't get burned over the top. And you kind of make it work that way. But you can see here how you've got a 3-man blitz. You got everyone done. And this is kind of an all-out man where you're not really blitzing, but you're doing the same setup. So you're basically just looking to see what's going, and then you just let your block shed win. So, it will give a little bit of a tell if you do just base the line. But if you base the line, and then you do the same thing where you shift everybody over, you pinch, you crash, and then you're just doing the outside players here on cloud flats, you're going to have that same look. It's just not going to look as, the same depending on what it is. You got that press look where you got this over here and move these guys over. You could definitely leave it like that, and then, go ahead, right beforehand, go ahead, right before he's going to hike it or something, base the line to where you got those players that way. This guy is going to look like he's still in that same spot. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really know, is he pressing, is he not pressing? And then at this point, you're just kind of roaming the middle of the field. So that's just a different type look that I'm adding into the scheme. Prime My Time doesn't do that, but I'm just going to make sure that you kind of see if you guys have been running that type of defense and you like that, you can still do it out of the 3-3-5 because the dime 2-3-6 is not in the 4-6 playbook. So I just want to kind of throw that in this video, guys. Well, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure that you guys see what we've got for you. I want to give a big thanks again to Prime My Time because of the fact that he was able to come ahead and show us this Blitz scheme and kind of introduce him for any future involvement he'll have with us. Anytime we can get those strong community players that have a lot of success, top 10 players that have a little bit different perspective, we're going to do so and really enhance what we have going on here, because the biggest result is get as much as we can in order to get you guys better at the game. So appreciate it. Thanks for your loyalty with your subscription, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video.